Chapter 3. Power or Protection. Some cages are built of courtesy. The confused haze clouding her mind didn't clear easily. The room was quiet, except for the soft snoring of someone off to her left. Camille. Lena knew he had not left her side for any longer than necessary, and in this dark, dreamlike state, she could accept anything. They could speak here. She could bask in his warmth and cling to him unself-consciously. She was afraid that if she opened her eyes, she would learn every bit of their closeness was just a dream-induced coping mechanism. While unconscious, she accepted her psychic tether to Camille as real, unafraid of it, although she was taught not to believe in such things. She supposed it was a perk of being unconscious for so long. It allowed for her subconscious to come to grips with what now was. In just a few moments of wakefulness, Lena lost her fear of insanity and even her disbelief of the impossible. What choice did she have? In order to get back to her girls, Lena needed to face whatever was happening. She needed to get a grip on herself and just open her damned eyes. She couldn't help but hesitate. What did he look like? His voice, when it was in her head, was a deep, gravelly baritone, concise in his diction. He spoke an odd mixture of old and modern English, and seemed like someone who was in the habit of thinking before speaking. Often, his replies to her were delayed, as he made sure his words were exactly right. He sounded handsome, which meant he probably wasn't. Finally, she braved her first truly conscious decision to open her eyes. The room was barely lit with a pink light, but it was enough to send a brief stab of pain through her head as her eyes adjusted. Turning her head slightly, she expected more pain, but none came. The only thing affecting her was the lethargy of being medicated. There he was, sitting so close to her bed, she could touch him. Her heart skipped a beat. No darkness to obscure his size or appearance. No loss of vision to hide his physique. There was just the man. The very pearlescent man. There was no other way to describe him. His skin, tinged with pink and gray undertones, glowed softly under the dim lighting in the room. He, actually, glowed. A pale pink hue emanated from him, stretching only inches from his body. Alien. There was no doubt he was an alien like Kiara, but of a different species, and yet, despite his skin tone, he looked remarkably human. His head was slack against the backrest, his arms folded in front of him, resting on his diaphragm, legs outstretched and crossed at the ankles. She recognized the sleep position. It was one she observed thousands of times in the military. This was a man used to sleeping in uncomfortable places. Was he a soldier? A mercenary? A space pirate? Lena wasn't proud of it, but the idea of being kidnapped by space pirates as handsome as this man seemed kind of exciting. Metallic silver streaked through his pale white hair, and along his forehead was an artistic branding, the scars dyed in red and black. A small, thrilling chill ran down her spine as she realized he was the type of man that could suffer that kind of pain in silence. His Nordic good looks surprised her, as if he belonged on some icy tundra dressed in animal furs, carrying an axe or sword. An ice king. At some point his nose had been broken, and that small bit of imperfection added to his appeal. With high-defined cheekbones, she couldn't make out the shape of his chin, as he had a full, well-trimmed mustache and bushy beard covering the lower half of his face. But his lips were full and parted softly in sleep. He was gorgeous, not to mention large. The man had to be at least 7 feet tall. Despite his vulnerable state, virility was a blatantly charged atmosphere around him. Even in sleep, well-pronounced muscles strained against his form-fitting clothing. She'd never seen a uniform like his before. But a uniform it was, similar to a police officer, but in a deep red, trimmed with black and gold, and the markings were not ones she'd ever seen. He had to be uncomfortable. She considered waking him, not wanting him to catch a crick in his neck if he slept like that for too long, but in her shocked state, couldn't get the words out. Camille stirred, the branding on his forehead crinkled. Clenched in a half-sleep, he tried to ease her concern for him. Even in his sleep, he seemed attuned to her, just as she had been to him.
Rest, Shadow. It will be morning soon enough.
She tried to speak again, but her throat was too dry. The doctor must have dosed her with something after she passed out, but even through the waning medical haze, she could feel his concern for her. Was she crazy? She could feel him, actually feel him inside of her mind. I'm awake now. Did she just try to speak to him telepathically? What kind of drugs was she on exactly? Camille's eyes shot open and his arctic blue gaze traveled over her features. Was it a coincidence?
Nay.
His voice was a deep rumble.
'Twas no coincidence. I heard you call to me.
So it's true then. She worked her mouth a bit, trying to stimulate moisture and gain control. Her voice may have been hoarse and her words slurred, but she didn't care. Now that she had control of her faculties, Lena slipped into a lifetime habit of rejecting every bit of weakness from her body. I really am in a spaceship? Hurtling through the cosmos? With, space aliens?
The true matter is a bit more complicated than that.
Could a man's voice really be so deep and rich? So smooth and soothing and... She cut herself off. He was probably reading her mind. How long have I been out?
Out?
He tilted his head at her, but the corner of his mouth lifted slightly. He looked pleased with something. Incapacitated? Injured? How long?
5 days.
Days?
Days.
5 days? She sat up slowly, not wanting to upset her stomach again with erratic motion. Camille rested his elbows on his knees, appraising her with those pale blue eyes of his.
I have wondered what meeting you for the first time would do to me. I am undone by your beauty.
That gleam in his eye. If her body were fully functioning, Lena would have blushed. I think I remember you telling me that my daughters are safe. They're with your sister. He nodded, still eyeing her intently.
Aye. When they are not with me, they are with her.
Lena liked the way he was looking at her, but she pushed the tiny thrill away to appraise her situation as she licked her lips and shifted back to a more comfortable position. When I'm out of here, I'll have to do something nice for your sister. I can't imagine a set of twins taking over her home was very easy for her. Camille cocked his head.
They are in my grants. My sister cares for them there when I must oblige my duties to the ship, or visit with you.
Alarm choked her. My daughters are living with you?
Indeed, lady.
She bolted up again, body tightly coiled. No. Hell no. Why aren't they living with your sister? His brow furrowed.
I do not understand. They belong to me much as you do. I am beholden to you all.
Little girls should not be living with strange men. Men can't be trusted with them. She tried to rise from the bed, her state of agitation making her movements clumsy. You have some goddamned nerve. Camille moved to her side and laid gentle hands on her shoulders.
Be calm, Sharon. You will harm yourself.
Oh, fuck you. My girls have been living with... God, you better not have hurt them. Camille's head reared back. His glow flushed as his fingers dug into her shoulders.
What exactly are you implying?
Men can't be trusted, she said flatly. Let go of me.
Has someone hurt them here now?
God, no, she seethed. And it's because I keep them away from men, except for their father. Men are dangerous.
And yet I have been naught but kind to you, Sharon.
I want them under a woman's care. She was irrational in that moment. Despite knowing better than to show alarm, showing fear only fed the beast. Tamping down her wilder responses, she met his gaze, willing him to take her seriously. Camille eyed her for a moment, then conceded,
Very well. I shall invite my sister to stay with me until you heal.
Lena breathed hard as she settled her racing heart. Get answers, Lena. What do you mean, you are beholden to us? Camille straightened as the fight died within her. It was obvious he still felt the sting of insult from her words, because his voice was as stiff as his posture.
As acting captain of the forager that struck your vehicle, I'm responsible for what happened to you and your bantlings. It is up to me to provide safety and security for you.
Is that an alien custom or something?
I believe most would term it common decency.
Okay. What happens now? Am I going to be experimented on? Become a slave? She rose to lean on an elbow and displayed none of the weakness she felt. I won't make a very good slave. I'm mean and stubborn, and I won't have sex with any man stupid enough to think I would call him master.
Charan.
Camille interrupted warily, his hands rising in a halting gesture.
My people have not kept slaves since our exodus from your planet some 2,000 years ago.
Though his voice was polite, Lena detected a flash of annoyance. Yes. She had thoroughly pissed him off, but Lena wasn't sure what gave her that impression, since he remained expressionless.
Perhaps you can detect my ill humor because we share our thoughts.
Lena jerked, her hand going to her head in surprise. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. This was too incredible, so completely unbelievable. Being awake as his energy entered her mind was unlike anything she ever experienced. While asleep, it had been a hazy, distant thing, completely non-threatening. Now, with them both fully awake, the power of this man in his prime, pulsing and projecting into her mind, was overwhelming. In fact, it was damn painful and downright nauseating. She rubbed her belly in a telltale manner as she focused on his words and relaxed back against her pillow, and Lena was grateful that he spoke his next words aloud.
I will call the minister. She will be well pleased with your recovery. Then, we reunite you with your bantlings.
Really? You'll let me be with my kids? Her heart fluttered. For how long? Camille withdrew from the bed, putting distance between them, and squared himself up to his full height.
You are not a prisoner here, Lady Lena. You are now part of our community. Your progeny are your own, and I have no intention of keeping such young ones from their mother.
So much for making a good impression. Camille had shown her nothing but kindness and hospitality, and she offended him at every turn. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, I just... Their eyes met again and her stomach dipped. Good grief. It wasn't fair for one man to be that damn good-looking, especially while she lay in this bed, weak and completely disheveled. What did it matter, though? Good looks aside, there was an incredibly life-changing event rocking her world at that moment, and she needed to address it. Taking a breath, she asked the one question she was afraid she already knew the answer to. I'm never going to see Earth again, am I?
You are here now, only because it was through my carelessness you suffered injury. Do you wish to stay? We will accommodate you. Do you wish to leave? We will oblige.
How is this your fault? Lena asked. Her throat ached, and she longed for a cool drink. Camille headed over to a small counter against the wall which lit up at his approach. He tapped a few symbols, and a cup appeared, which he offered to her. He nearly smiled as she eyed the cup dubiously and sniffed it before taking a tentative sip.
Your ground-to-air support caught wind of our forager. We're usually careful to cloak our vessels, yet our shields were not functioning properly, and our pilot was so engrossed in correcting the malfunction, he did not see your air fighters coming for us. At the last moment we dove to fly below them, yet Maud overcompensated. We nearly crashed to the Terror, clipping your chariot, causing it to roll several times down an embankment.
Car.
Pardon?
We don't call wheeled vehicles chariots anymore. We call them cars now. Camille gifted her a smile.
Forgive my misspeak. Last I was upon your planet, the English language was much different. Your modern version, though easy enough to understand, has evolved so much I do not have a firm grasp of it.
Yeah, see, I'm not even going to ask what you mean by that. Modern version. Evolved? Lena didn't miss the implication of his words, but she didn't have the strength to confirm her suspicions yet. How long do I have to think about it? I assume you won't be in this section of space for long. You must have, I don't know, a mission or a purpose or something.
Aye, charity has both a mission and a purpose. We guard the sons and daughters of the Eternal One until they are called to perform their duties. Then we deliver them to their fates. You will have 3 Vekas to decide. After that, we leave, and will not be returning again until called to do so.
Because?
Senites.
Senites? He huffed.
21 days.
Lena settled onto her side so she could curl into a ball and face him. Well, that's not a lot of time to decide on a lifelong commitment. Tell me everything about your ship, your people, everything. I want to know it all.
Later that evening, Camille watched as the twins broke into a run and jumped onto Lena's bed. They hugged and kissed Lena and tried to nurse her owies. Lena's face glowed as she cooed over her progeny, checking them over to reassure herself they were well. His interest was caught when a serious look came to Lena's features, and she asked her bantlings pointedly,
Girls, do you like it here? Do you feel safe?
Yes! Yes!
the girlings said in unison, then began chatting away about Penina, whom they dubbed their babysitter. Though Camille was fairly certain his sister never rested her bottom upon the bantlings, perhaps. One never knew with Penina.
We have a decision to make.
Lena told her daughters. Her attention was wholly on the twins, forgetting that Camule stood in the room with them.
We have to decide if we want to stay here.
Tears filled Sasha's eyes instantly, and the brave bantling attempted to blink them away.
If we stay here, we can't see Daddy again.
Lena swallowed, her own eyes glistening.
Sweet Pea, we talked about this, remember? Daddy isn't with us anymore.
He's with the angels now.
Layla finished solemnly.
He's dead, and dead means not coming back. Right, Mama?
Camule wanted to enter Lena's mind and learn what she felt, yet knew it would be a true invasion of her privacy. He could only watch with avid eyes as Lena addressed the difficult topic with her girlings. Camule could not say for sure what it was he felt, unsettled by their sadness perhaps. He wished to comfort them all, yet understood it was not his place to do so. What words could he even offer that would help them find solace? No words would heal their hearts. Lena caressed Layla's cheek, and when she spoke her voice was thick with emotion.
Yes, baby. That's exactly what that means. You know it wasn't his fault, though, right? Daddy would never choose to leave you. He loved you so much.
I miss Daddy.
Sasha said as her chin trembled.
I know, baby.
Lena gathered both girls to her.
And I would do anything to bring him back for you if I could.
Camule understood the pain of the bantlings. He'd lost his own mother at a young age. Yet it seemed to him that Lena's sorrow was more for her progeny than for the man who died. Had the man been a temporary life partner, or just a lover? After some time, Layla straightened and looked at Lena.
If we stay, can I keep my room? I like my new room. I have lots of toys in there, and I don't have to share with Sasha. Sasha is messy and always leaves her underwear on the floor. No, I don't.
Sasha said with an affront that made Camule smile. The bantling did indeed leave her underthings about, as well as all the rest of her clothing, toys, and even food. Sasha was disorderly in most things.
And I don't like sharing a room with you either. You're always burping and you think farts are funny. They are funny.
Layla insisted, a scowl on her face, then burped for emphasis.
No, they are not.
Sasha wrinkled her tiny nose.
They're disgusting.
Camule looked down to hide the widening of his smile, as Lena skillfully redirected the brewing argument.
Okay. I need you girls to think about whether you want to stay here. We have time to decide, but not much, so I need to know what your thoughts are.
Layla of the many belches looked at her mother with surprising maturity for one so young, and her words made Camule raise his head, his gaze softening at the heartfelt tone.
I just want to be where you are, Mama. Me too,
Said Sasha.
I'm going to be honest, girls. I'm thinking of staying.
Camule's eyes honed in on Lena. Despite Noah's sternly voiced assertion that the 3 females remain on the Ark, Camule inwardly balked at being a party to abduction. Bringing her aboard Charity had only been to save her life, not to steal her from the life she created for herself. And he could not deny its call. The urge to act on it burned within him even now. Though he denied himself, it was not difficult to do so yet. The curative still flowing through her blood altered her body chemistry, making it so he did not experience the full pull of his ownership over her. And he was glad of it. The woman was still too vulnerable. She needed time. And in truth, so did he. Yet, knowing she considered making Charity a permanent place for herself, he could not help but be pleased. It would ease his conscience if she stayed of her own accord.
Tell me about your time here. I want to know everything.
Lena said, pulling him from his musings, as she settled back against the pillows. Camille enjoyed the way the girlings detailed their adventures aboard Charity, vying for their mother's attention. When Lena laughed just as she did now, the husky sound pleased his ears. He was entranced, as the lovely woman asked questions and reveled in the vibrant health and well-being of her progeny. Reassured by their contentment, Lena's eyes teared up as she looked at Camille.
Thank you for this. They are absolutely perfect and happy and alive. Thank you.
He nodded, making a concerted effort to ignore the effect her pretty smile had on him. Too easily, the woman could bewitch him if he did not keep his wits about him. His attention was drawn to the gentleness with which her scarred hands caressed the cheeks and hair of her bantlings. Lena did not appear a woman accustomed to the softer things in life. Yet with her bantlings, she was all that was kind and good. Once again, Camille wondered at her past. What trials had she weathered? The moment he noticed Lena's energy flag, he called the bantlings to him, intending to let her rest. Instant anger ignited Lena's eyes as she projected rudely into his mind.
Like hell you're taking them. They aren't going anywhere.
He cocked a brow at her temper, amused by her spirit. I am not keeping your bantlings from you. You need rest. Resting will allow you to heal faster. The faster you recuperate, the faster you may return to live with your children again. I will return with them on the morrow and every day until you are well enough to take up your place in our society. Anger had her rising from the bed.
Girls, go wait outside with Avum. I want to speak to Camille.
Yeah, I'm supposed to call him Craven, Mama.
Layla said, tisking at her mother who should know this. Camille fought his amusement at the bantling's words. He did not think Lena would appreciate it. Heed your motto, young one. Await me with Avum. The moment the girls were out of the room, Lena started in on him.
I'm well enough now. They're my children.
Camille took her arm and helped to settle her back onto the bed when she swayed on her feet. We shall return, Lena. Every day until you are well enough, I vow to bring you your daughters. She searched his features, and he knew she was trying to believe his words. Finally, she nodded, though her countenance turned stony. And when she spoke, an icy chill laced her words.
If you don't bring them to me, I will hunt you down, Camille. And I will make your life miserable.
It shall be as you say, he deadpanned, keeping his features impassive. For though a stout-hearted Kaal, male and brave, battle-seasoned warrior, even the Nka'o knew better than to laugh at an angry woman. How could such a small, wounded creature be so fierce?